Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you something that I had been very excited about receiving, something that I had waited a long time to receive because it was out of stock, and that was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is £41 and I purchased from Cult Beauty. It had been, like I say, out of stock for months, but I signed up on the website to receive a notification once the stock became available. However, the stock now has sold out again. You can sign up for the next stock notification on the website, but unfortunately there is no stock of this. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is I want to swatch the palette for you, and also I want to share with you Makeup Revolution swatches of a palette that had been mentioned that could have some dupe shades in there, and that is the New-Trals versus the New-Trals palette. So it looks like that. It's the matte version palette, and inside you have a huge mirror with all of those shades. Now, looking at it, you know, just in the palette, I can't see the like fuchsia shades that are in the Modern Renaissance palette. I can't see that, but I will be doing some comparison swatches just to see. Now, this is the product that I had been waiting for, and it is just gorgeous. It has got this dusky rose packaging, velvet. It reminds me of the Urban Decay, the first palette, the brown one. It feels, now, yes, it is £41 and it is, you know, it's not an inexpensive palette, but I can feel that the quality is there. It's not, although it's not like a plastic palette like this, it is cardboard, and yes, it is covered in this velvet material, but it just feels substantial, and yeah, it's just amazing. I love the writing on the front. I love the gold embossed logo there. You've got a mirror inside. I haven't taken the plastic sheet off there yet, and then obviously you've got the shades there, and even looking straight, you know, at the palette, this one here, Love Letter, there isn't a shade in that New-Trals palette that is going to match that. Each of them comes with a brush. This is the Modern Renaissance brush. It's shorter, and you have a fluffy end there with a eyeshadow. I would say that's for packing the product on, but obviously you can use it for whatever you like. It's a nice brush. It's nice. It's not really heavy, but it's, you know, it's a nice brush. And then this one is from the Makeup Revolution palette. It's a lot thinner. It's still got the blending brush on that side, and then the thinner brush there for packing the product on. So that's all the same. The price obviously is the difference. Here you've got the Makeup Revolution one is either £6 or £8. The Modern Renaissance palette is £41. Now, in these videos, I'm not trying to say that I dislike one palette over the other. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm doing is giving you the option to then go ahead and perhaps purchase whatever palette you would like, obviously. And you know, the Makeup Revolution is the inexpensive palette, but I just want to show that perhaps if you didn't want to purchase the Modern Renaissance palette, that perhaps there is some dupes in there, or perhaps there's not. Like I say, this is my first time looking at this palette. I've not, you know, the Modern Renaissance one, I've not swatched it. I've not been able to swatch it here in the UK. It's not in any store that you can go to and swatch. This is only available online. So with all of my purchases, I always do a lot of homework. I watch a lot of videos just to see if that palette, you know, in this case, is going to work for me, and whether I like the consistency. I don't want to be spending, you know, £41 here, and on my Kat Von D palettes they were £36. I don't want to be spending that amount of money and then be disappointed. So I do look into it a lot, and like I say, Kat Von D in particular, which I did my last comparison video on, you know, palettes, that one is now, or the range is now available in Debenhams. You can view that in Lakeside, which I did do, which makes it so much easier. But you know, when you can only purchase online, it does make it very difficult. And this is why I want to, you know, do these swatches to give people in the UK particularly the information if they are interested in these. And of course, if you're not interested in purchasing a palette for £41, then giving you the option to perhaps get the same shades, you know, but for that less expensive price. But you know, I'm not saying purchase this over this, I'm just giving you my views, and you know, everybody's entitled to, you know, their point of view and to then go ahead and make their purchase. So I'll be swatching the Modern Renaissance palette first, and then seeing if I can find a dupe here in this palette. There may not be a dupe, but I just want to, you know, see for myself if there is, because I've seen a few videos online where they're saying that, you know, this is a dupe for that palette. Even from looking at it, I can't see that there is going to be a dupe for the shade Love Letter, but you know, I'm going to do my best and show you it to see if there is. So I also have my Makeup Geek palettes here as well. Now I house mine in the double-sided MAC palettes. The only reason I do that is because these palettes I can purchase for, I think it's £10, and then I lay a sheet inside, and it is magnetised so that I can then take these out. I did actually have these stuck inside the palettes, but it makes it so difficult if you want to follow a tutorial, for example. You can't see what, you know, you can't take it out very easily. So I then purchased these sheets off, I think it was eBay. I cut them to size and just stuck them inside, and it makes it, well, it works for me basically, and it's only, you know, about £10–11 that it works out to. I think one of these palettes I purchased for £8, so and the next one, well, the next time I purchased it, it got up to 10, so I'm not quite sure what that was all about, but I was very, very pleased with that. So if there is a dupe in that my Makeup Geek palette, obviously I'll show you that as well. So I'll swatch the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette first, and then go to the Makeup Revolution palette, and then go from there. So the first shade is it Tempera, and it's a very light shade. Does have a little bit of a sheen to it. Now it is very, very light, so I hope you can see it. Now it has got more of a pink tone to the Makeup Geek. So that one is the Modern Renaissance palette, and that one is the Makeup Revolution. And in the Makeup Revolution palette, the shade is Cool. That's the name of it. So you're not going to really get a good idea of that, but I hope you can see. So they are definitely very similar, but not exact dupes. I think the Modern Renaissance, like I say, is a little bit more pink in tone. The next shade in the Modern Renaissance palette is the shade Golden Ochre. This is a very light camel shade. It is matte, and I don't think, nope, there is not a dupe in that Makeup Revolution palette, and I can't see a dupe either in the Makeup Geek. So that one there is called Golden Ochre. The next shade is called Vermeer, which is a gorgeous shimmer shade. And I think we've got a similar shade here in the Makeup Revolution. Similar but not the same. So that one is called Vermeer, and then in the Makeup Revolution palette there's a shade called Style. So this one is a little bit more pink in tone. This is more baby pink, I would say. So although similar, they're not exactly the same. So I hope you can see that there. The next shade in the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette is called, and this is the shade that I'm most excited about, and it's called, I think it's called Buon Fresco, B-U-O-N and then Fresco, and oh my goodness, oh that is so gorgeous. I love that. So that's that one there, so that's Buon Fresco. It's a gorgeous mauve pink shade, very, very similar to the colour of this palette, the packaging, sorry, and I can't see that there is going to be a shade that is similar at all. I'm going to try this one, which is called Neutral, from the Makeup Revolution palette. Now that is quite similar, but it's not. This one has got more mauve to it. This one is more brown pink in tone. So that one is not a complete dupe, but it's of the same colour family. Then we move on to Antique Bronze. That's gorgeous. And then looking at the Makeup Revolution palette, there's not an exact dupe, but there is this one. So this shade is called Antique Bronze, and then this one is called Mode. So this is more bronze, this is a deeper shade, so not an exact dupe, but again it's of the similar, you know, colour family, but again not the same exact colour. The next one is Love Letter, and this is gorgeous. I love this. So it's that magenta, yeah, magenta shade. So that's Love Letter, and I can't see a shade at all, not in any of my palettes, that is going to match up to that. So that is definitely a shade. I'm just going to put some, I've rubbed it in a little bit too much there. So that's Love Letter. Again, unfortunately, I haven't got a complete dupe. No, there's not a dupe at all for that one. The next one is called Cyprus Umber, and it's a deep brown. Wow. So that's Cyprus Umber. It's a very, very deep brown, and there is a colour in the Makeup Revolution palette that is very, very similar. Well, it looks similar anyway, but it doesn't swatch similar at all. It's not as pigmented as the Modern Renaissance palette is at all. It is definitely more paler and not as pigmented. You can certainly see that from the swatch, although in the actual palette it looks very, very similar. The next shade is called Raw Sienna. Now this is a lovely, lovely colour. It's like a camel shade. I'm just going to clean my hand. I'm getting colour all over. So that one is Raw Sienna, and it does look like a, like I say, like a light camel shade, and there's definitely no dupe in the Makeup Revolution palette at all. There is a similar colour, Tiki Hut, in the Makeup Geek, so I'll just swatch that one. So that is Makeup Geek's Tiki Hut. It is very, very similar in colour. I'm just going to swatch that Raw Sienna to see if I can, that's better. So they are very, very similar. So that's Raw Sienna and Tiki Hut. Raw Sienna Tiki Hut from Makeup Geek. The next shade is called Burnt Orange. So that is Burnt Orange, and again it is very, very similar to this shade. There are no other dupes that I can see, definitely not in the Makeup Revolution palette, and Tiki Hut, which is here, is definitely the only shade that will match that one, although this one is definitely more brown in tone. The next shade is called Primavera or Primavera, and it's a shimmer shade. And it is a lovely gold shade. Now there's definitely no dupes in the Makeup Revolution. The only one would be going back and duplicating one that I've already swatched, and that is Mode. But again, it's more bronze, it's definitely not gold, so that again is not a dupe. The next one is called Red Ochre. I'm going to have to swatch on the other arm. So Red Ochre, oh, this is gorgeous. So that's Red Ochre from the Modern Renaissance palette, and there must be a shade in here that's like that. I think I'm going to go for Adapt, and that's Makeup Revolution. So that's Red Ochre, that is Makeup Revolution's Adapt. Did I say Makeup Revolution there? That one is Red Ochre from the Modern Renaissance, and that is Adapt from Makeup Revolution's palette. They are very similar, but it does go on the eye better than a swatch, I must say, because like I say, I've used that palette, but it doesn't certainly swatch as well as this one. So next we move on to Venetian Red. Oh wow. So that's Venetian Red, and I'm going to swatch Suit from the Makeup Geek. So that's Venetian, that is Suit. And then I'm just going to, these are so pigmented they are actually staining my fingers, the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, because they are so pigmented. The next one is Warm Taupe. So that is Warm Taupe, and the only shade that I can see that is similar is Neutral. Again, that is a dupe. I've already swatched that, but it's more pink. It's definitely not brown, definitely not a dupe in that palette again. And then the last shade is called Real Gar. And that is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a burnt orange, and the only other shade again I can actually, that, where is that one? That one is not called Adapt, it's called Trend, and the only other one I can swatch, this one again, is Trend. So Trend from the Makeup Revolution. So sorry about that. That one there from Makeup Revolution is Trend, and it swatches there. Again, it's the only shade in the palette that is going to match that one, but it doesn't really match it at all, and it's certainly not got the quality. This one swatches very well, but I know, like I say, Makeup Revolution does work on the eyes. It just doesn't swatch as well. It is more patchier than the Modern Renaissance palette. So that is all of those swatches. The only other one that I can see that may match that is called Makeup Geek's Morocco. So I'm just going to swatch that one, just to see if we, again, it's a similar family of shades, but this has definitely got more depth to it, and you can see, you know, they're all from the same colour family, but just doesn't work exactly for that Modern Renaissance palette at all. So yes, you are going to find similar shades, as in, you know, you've got the brown red tones in this one, you've got the these ones here particularly match the palette, but it's not a complete dupe, I wouldn't say. So if you are looking for a dupe, then you will get some similar shades to the Modern Renaissance palette from the New-Trals versus New-Trals, but as in being a complete dupe, this is definitely not that. But obviously, you know, it is a gorgeous palette, I love it, but I just wanted to see for myself if it was going to match up to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I can't wait to start using that palette, so obviously it's now up to you to decide which palette, if you want to obviously make a purchase, that you would then go for. And yeah, that was really, really good, and I'm really so pleased with the shades of the Anastasia Beverly Hills. Can't wait, like I say, to use that. But this nonetheless is a very good palette. If you wanted to try this, I mean, Makeup Revolution is a UK brand. I have been with this brand from the beginning. I love it, I support it, because obviously it's UK based and the products are fantastic. But for being a dupe for that Modern Renaissance palette, I don't think it's a complete dupe. Some of the shades are, like I say, similar, but it's definitely not a complete dupe. And there were not many shades from my Makeup Geek palette either that matched that palette. So I think for me, this is definitely one of those one-off palettes, and I'm so glad I purchased it. And like I say, I cannot wait to start using that palette. So I hope you found that interesting. I certainly did, and thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up, of course, and subscribe if you would like to watch further videos. But thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.